Alright guys, so welcome back to my channel, YMBIB Apparel. If you have not looked at my welcome video, go take a look at it just to kind of give you an idea about what the channel is going to portray. Basically, YMBIB is my apparel brand that I'm starting. And I wanted to just create a channel to let you see each step of the way what I'm doing, because there are a lot of roadblocks. I'll just tell you this video, I'm going to try to give you a current status on some of the things that I've done and where I'm at right now. So to start off, YMBIB, which stands for You Mad Because I'm Blessed, Take It Up With God. That is my trademark. I actually have 2 or 3 trademarks for my brand. And I used to create t-shirts, a couple of years back just for myself, and I got a lot of compliments on the phrase. They're like, oh, that's nice, I like that. And I started thinking, why not create a faith-based apparel brand around that? Because basically YMBIB is a nice way of saying, stay in your lane, stop worrying about somebody else's blessings, and concentrate on the blessings that you were given. We shouldn't hate on somebody because they're being successful. To me, personally, I love to see somebody else being successful because it motivates you to continue on your path. I know some of you are probably going to say, well, there's people that I see being successful and getting all these things and they haven't put in the work. But honestly, you don't know what path that person is on. You don't know what type of roadblocks they might have ran up against. And regardless, none of that matters. Just concentrate on you. Concentrate on the blessings that you've been given, and your success will come. You got to put in the work, though. So that's what YMBIB is. Now, to date, where am I at? So I have been working on this, starting off with the trademark since 2021. No, that whole time I was not ready. And just like you hear the timing is everything. And you may think you're ready for something, but you're not. And if I would have started my brand in 2021, I don't think I would be where I am right now, because of the fact of there's so many things that I see now that I have to do, and still have to do. There's some things that I have accomplished, but there's some things that I still have to do. So in 2021, I did start my trademark, but they were so backed up with everything, I didn't get approved into 2024. Now, they are a lot quicker, but the pandemic shut down everything, so when I started doing that, that's why everything was kind of put on hold because of that. Now, post-pandemic, I did submit for some other trademarks last year. They've already been approved, and they're just waiting to be published. So it definitely is a lot faster now, but I got all the trademarks out of the way. Once I got all those out of the way, then I had to start thinking about with my brand, how do I want to, portray it? What clothing do I want to put it on? And I'm starting off simple. I have sweatshirts. I am going to do t-shirts, but right now it's hoodies, hoodies and sweatshirts. And you can probably see in the background, I got some different caps and different beanies that I'm going to actually, put out. And these are, like I say, these are examples of different ones, from the trucker, type cap to the fitted cap. But you can see my brand, is actually on it. As far as the sweatshirts and hoodies, I'm starting simple, keeping the colors basic. I'm just going to, for the kickoff first edition collection, I'm just going to do red, blue, and black. Actually, let me show you one of the sweatshirts. One second. So this is one of the hoodies. It's the red one, and basically you have my embroidered patch on the front, And then you also have the logo, on the actual sleeve, which is the same logo that I have on the hat. So those are just samples. I have not gone into production. It was more so getting those samples together to see, what they would actually look like. Roadblocks that I ran into. I already told you it took a while to get the initial trademark, but that was because of the pandemic. The next thing I ran into was trying to find manufacturers. Yes, you can use Alibaba. It is a ton of them on there. But then you got to weed down, the people that you're using. And on Alibaba, I always look for verified suppliers. I try to find people who are a manufacturer, like OEM, original equipment manufacturer, versus a distributor. A distributor is going to add some costs on. If you go straight to the manufacturer, it's a lot easier to get things customized, to change it around. It's just better. And then I make sure that they've been out there, their gold supplier, and that they've been out there for at least 5 years. I try to tick off all those things, and then look at, what some people may be saying about them. All of the ones that I've looked at, they're in China. Do they have people that are in other places? Yes, but all the ones that I've been looking at have been in China. I am concerned with tariffs and different things that may start happening under this new presidency. Don't know how that's going to impact. That may change with how I do orders and things once we get ready for that bulk production run. So that is a concern. But that is what I did. I went to Alibaba. I figured out some different, people that I could use for the patches. I will say the initial company I worked with, they're out of California. And they use a company in China to produce, the actual patches. You're not going to get them any cheaper in the U.S. Would I prefer to have everything done in the U.S.? Yes. But I haven't found anyone like that yet. And I'll give you an example. The shipping box that I'm using. I have designed a shipping box to match the luxury, brand that I'm trying to go for. And I got it quoted in the US and I got it quoted in China. The actual box, let's just say I'm going to get 500 boxes to start off. I got a quote for like a piece price ranging from $1.25 all the way up to $1.99 per box. And then the design of it, some people charge for the design, but it was like, $100. It wasn't like it was very expensive. Some people charge for the shipping of the samples, but then if you bought, the bulk load, they would subtract that from it. Either way, I'm ranging about $950 to about $1,150 to get 500 boxes. Same information I got quoted in the U.S., it was over $6,000 for 500 boxes. I mean, their piece price was around $12 a box. And I'm like, you're joking, right? So it's, you see why people go, overseas for different things, especially when you're first starting. Now, maybe down the line, once the brand starts blowing up and you got large quantities, it will become a lot better. But I still don't see how it's going to be effective from a price perspective to do it in the U.S. for some things. Now, my actual manufacturer of my product, the sewing, the different things like that, that's all done in the U.S. My shirts and hoodies, all that stuff, I get them purchased here. They could be cheaper, international, but I do get all that here. But there are certain components that I haven't found it's effective to do it, in the U.S. But the majority of my items are completed completely in the U.S. So that's where I am right now. I've gotten my trademarks, I've gotten samples, I've created, different samples, and I'm working to perfect those now. My next thing that I'm going to do is a Kickstarter campaign for the launch, of my product. So I'm pulling together all of the information. I'll be posting things on my different social media. That's another thing I did. I made sure I had my threads, my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok around my brand so that I can start putting it out there and people are aware of it. So hopefully this video kind of gave you, some insight. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm learning just like some of you, and I'm sure there's some of you that have more knowledge about this than I do, and you can actually give me, some pointers, and I look forward to that. But this video was just try to give you a status on a lot of the things that I have done up to this point. The next video, I will talk with you in a little bit more detail about the Kickstarter, campaign. And I will talk with you about the trademarking and some of the suppliers, how I went about, working with them via Alibaba. Tune in for the next video. Hopefully this was helpful, and thank you for joining my channel.